friends. This is the Be Real Babe podcast, a place where your average Canadian wolfpack come together to talk about life stresses, messes, and successes. A safe space where being yourself is the ultimate goal. Each week we will bring you new episodes sharing our experiences on a ton of different topics in hopes we get a better understanding of ourselves, each other, and this crazy world we live in. We want to build a community where we can show up as ourselves, be real, and lay it all out there. By sharing our experiences, we hope to reach others who can relate so we can all help each other learn, grow, and heal. But please keep in mind, as a disclaimer, none of us here are professionals. No one is giving any advice. We are strictly speaking of our life experiences, our opinions, and for entertainment purposes only. Now, with that being said, grab your drink, grab your joint, and let's jump right in. Welcome back to the Be Real Babe podcast. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by the show today. We hope that you have a good time. And if you're a returning listener, watcher, supporter, thank you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts for coming back time and time again. For those that don't know me, my name is Brandy and I'm the host of the show. And today we're on episode 103, The Side Effects of Online Influence. Ooh, hope you guys have been enjoying this month and our last month of season 4 so far. I have absolutely been adoring it so much. It's been such great conversation, real talk, real vulnerability, real hard topics like talking about porn in the last episode. And before that, the backward ass clown world with Dusty and how things are just so crazy right now. And today we're going to talk about online influence, digital worlds, and kind of how that all looks when it comes to like social media, influence, thoughts, process, everything just seems like it's so much crazier now that we have an online world that is outside of the world that we live and breathe every single day, and how people can literally just make up their own personalities online. Like there's literally an influencer who made herself completely, like she made herself famous, but she actually wasn't. She was just, anyways, fun stories. But we wanted to talk about that as we end this season. And I'm so excited, you guys. We have one more episode we're going to sneak in for you for the end of season 4, talking about Hollywood part 3. So excited. And then we're going to end the season and start season 5. But before we get on to the episode, if you are watching on Rumble or YouTube, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and turning on those notifications. Please, right now, if you can, like this episode. It helps us get us out there a little bit more. And if you are listening on Spotify or Apple, if you could take a second and give us a review, that would be amazing. As always, guys, thank you so fucking much from the bottom of our hearts. We just we're so excited. Season 4 is ending perfectly, and we are just right excited to get to season 5. So let's jump on to the show. All right, babes, let's get on to the show, talking about the fucked up world of online living. Hey, babes, what's shaking?
Not much.
Happy Sunday. This week went by
Sunday.
so fast.
Where did this last week? Where did this go?
I felt like every day.
February, though.
We are, and I felt
January,
every day. Last week was a Thursday. Every day I was like, it's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Yeah.
And then Friday
Or
was
Monday.
Like, it's Monday. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what planet is in what microwave, but I'm over it. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I don't know. And I was like,
Ready to feel normal again.
yes. And I think I was like super excited that it was like going to be good weather soon. And then all of a sudden I had like a big realization that summer and spring is still quite a few months away. And I kind of got like a little bit depressed for a minute.
I did the same thing recently. Because like the blue skies, I'm like, oh, it looks so nice. I'm like, I can't wait to get my patio set up and sit outside. I'm like, I can't even sit out there for so long.
I don't know about you guys, but we were, like 8 degrees. It was getting so nice. And then today we dropped down to minus 35.
Yeah, we were minus 11 today.
Yeah, we didn't get that low, but yeah.
Well, that was
not that low, but
it was like still minus 20, like 22, 23 with like it was like, what? I was enjoying the sun, the melting was nice.
I know.
I don't even mind the cold as much as long as it's sunny, but it seems like lately and like in our little bowl, it just like is so cloudy. And I said to Grant, that's what I love about Kelowna, is because it has this
so
beautiful
depressing.
It is, and it has this beautiful view of the mountains. And when the clouds are down there and you don't see them for a few days, like same with Port Alberni, it just gets really depressing. And so the sun comes out and you get a few seconds and then you quickly realize like, fuck, there's still like 5 months until it's like short weather and like
when
maybe
it
like
opens
3.
Up, it's worth it.
It is.
But
so
I've
worth
noticed
it.
that the days are getting longer,
Yes.
brighter longer. And I'm like, it's coming though.
I've noticed that too.
I never wanted spring ahead so fast in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, I know people want to get rid of the
I'm over
time
it.
change, but I really do like the one in the spring. Like, I think I love to keep that one because it just gives you that extra hour.
Gain sleep. That one's my favorite.
I feel like, yeah, but the days just being lit with sun, like your full day, like get up at a good hour, go to bed at like, you can stay up till 10 and it's still bright. Like there's something about that that is just,
I know. I'm craving it. Like here in our apartment, I'll like open up the blinds and it barely even changes the light in here. I'm like, oh my God, still turn some lights on.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like too.
I'm
not glad I'm the only one, but yeah, it kind of hit me. And when I moved too from Alberta, I was like, oh, winter depression. That's an Alberta thing. No, I don't know what I'm doing. It's a Canada thing. It's just a thing. And we need it. Like I was trying to always tell myself, like, embrace the season. Like you need this so that you have a, less hopeful, fiery winter, but it's still hard.
Yeah.
I love outside here in the nice weather. So
I'm definitely a summer baby.
Me too. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be that way, but like, could it just be nice 24/7 and not burn?
Amen.
Yeah. Anyways, task at hand, y'all. Awesome episode. Last episode, Hales. That was great. Mm-hmm. Continuing on, we got one more until the season ends. But online influence crazy. And I think it's kind of funny that as we're like talking about coming up to this, I had like a moment myself, it's just kind of made me realize how small and how big online is and how much it's actually changed our lives over the last 10 years. And we've been a part of the generation that went from like I didn't really have that in high school. So I feel like we're part of a completely different generation to having it in like...
We know what it was.
It had like just started for me.
Did it?
Like I remember the very first Instagram and you just took pictures of random ass shit, used whatever filters, and like you just posted it and that was just it.
Like, there was no social aspect to it. I thought it was a filter app when I first got it. That's what I thought. I didn't realize that when I was posting stuff that other people, not that I was posting anything bad, but I thought it was just a place that you like post your pictures with the filters, not that it was like socially like a Facebook
It's funny because if you scroll far enough back on anyone's page, it starts with like heavily, oddly, weirdly filtered pictures, and then it phases out as you go. Because every time I scroll through mine and I get down to the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, like this is so cringy. Like
you could just see funny because vignette
kids. Yeah, kids these days, like when we say filters, they wouldn't think of these OG filters,
No.
They think of like the Snapchat filters that put things on your face, like
the grainy,
he's
like,
just
emo filters. That
yes.
Oh my God.
I honestly miss those simpler times though. Or you could tell that everyone just got the new like filter app because it had the same
editing
style.
Words on all pics, like pics and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when it would just like crop your photo and you had no idea.
There was,
and
like,
it just
pixel, like you could do like pixel background stuff too, and have like people popping out and like
Oh my God.
So that's what started. Honestly, I was just out of high school when like it was like MySpace was it, and I remember Facebook. I was like at my first job outside of high school, out of college actually, and it was like he's like, oh, I have Facebook. A guy at work, and I was like, that sounds so stupid. What is that, a book of faces? Yeah. Like, that is such a lame, that's never going to stick. And then I was like, MySpace is so much better. And then like, oh boy, I drank my ass getting Facebook so long because I said that.
I never ever like got into MySpace. I never had a MySpace
I loved it.
Me neither.
I was not into it. I
had MSN for a bit.
MSN.
Oh, MSN. Yes. That's where it all starts. Let's be honest, guys. That's where it starts. I remember
the logo, the letter cap. Yeah. All like the rows and the heart.
Or like there was like that cackling person and like you would send people like random oh my God, that was
and then
OG
and then even just like chat rooms. Remember being in like chat rooms before and you were
on
like
games like or like I remember
just
this
random
one,
chat rooms.
It was called like Bebo, and you made these little characters, and you went around to each chat room like oh my God. Stupid games like that are so nostalgic.
What was like that video chat room thing you could do?
Oh, that's
just like hop in.
Omegle?
Yes.
I never did that. I would like watching the videos of some people do it, but I've never done it.
I've definitely seen some horrific videos. All of mine are just like also young fuckers,
just stupid.
Just like,
oh my god, like,
whatever, you know, like just whatever. Like,
it's so
or you
stupid,
just be like,
though,
oh, fuck you, then leave. Like,
your mom's at home,
like,
bye.
Yeah.
Big balls.
Yeah.
And you thought you're so funny.
God.
But then even like the beginning of Facebook, like remember poking and like,
oh my god,
yeah,
and just like
there'd always be those
stuff.
creeps,
or it was
And you
always
go
like
back.
your like mom friend or like your aunt.
Yeah.
Or, like, your grandpa, at worst cases, like, you.
Please don't.
Mhm.
Oh my god. And then you
That's
get
the
the
worst.
memories now, and it was like, you know, from like 2005, and you're like, I'd rather you not show me this shit, please. Like,
Some of the statuses I've posted are like,
That's what I
honestly,
mean.
yeah.
it's one of those like
Could
super
live without.
cringe, very typical like went out to eat today. Some like, I hate some of them like going
Watch
back.
It's
Jersey
feeling-
Shore this Thursday. Part sure, like just shower later, like whatever. I don't know. Just
Okay.
shit.
Brandy is
Tuesday,
feeling
yeah.
sad, like nothing else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then, like, tell me more.
Yeah, because before it would be like the name and then the words did go right after, so you could be like is,
Yeah.
and now it's like something different underneath.
I
But,
remember those.
or like my status for whatever.
I'll
You're
rate
die
you.
in the next
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah. My brother used to do those.
Fuck.
The
Scream.
rate me ones. Oh my god.
Oh
I
my
can't.
god.
So
I hate
funny.
it. I love
Dude,
it
the
and I hate
nostalgia.
it.
See
It's-
how much fun memories we have because it was like OG internet where it was like harmless and like
Very
just
harmless.
for fun.
Yeah,
And now-
very
Yeah.
harmless.
That
It's
is all
terrifying.
ruined. It is not the
That- and-
same.
It's not the same.
It's
It's like with
not.
everything. They ruin it. They take it and they ruin it. And us millennials are sitting here going, guys,
How dare
it was
you.
good. Like,
Mhm.
Because
can
we
go back
definitely
to
were
this?
that cusp generation though.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
like we know before and like
Yeah.
we know now what it has
we
turned into.
transitioned with
We were the last generation
Things,
to not
you know?
have like
A digital reality.
complete analog versus digital, right?
Yes. Well, think
Mhm.
about it. We were just who we were based on what
like the
was
times when
around
kids
us
played outside, you know.
and our environment. Yeah, and our friends and the people we knew and our parents. And now it's
Biking
like all,
everywhere and
yeah, and now everything is digital. There's you have a real life like imprint, and then you have a digital one. Where for us, we grew up at this like transformative time in just the
Oh, yeah.
real life imprint, right? So I think that's why a lot of us are still very traditional and rooted in certain, you know, like
Yeah.
like traditions, I guess, for lack of a better word, and not
Well,
as PC.
I was talking to Nick today and I said like the internet has made it so if you want to know how someone's doing, you no longer have to call them or text them or ask them. You can just go online and like kind of check up their updates, and then it's so like we're not personal anymore. It's so impersonal. You don't need to
It doesn't
actually
feel-
ask
Oh,
them. How are
Privacy
you?
gone. Privacy gone unless you
Yeah.
don't post like literally
But
anything at all.
they're also highlight reels, so it's like completely
Yes.
inaccurate anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest impact that it's had. It's because like the same thing we talked about porn. If you're getting that dopamine and that sexual release, let's say online, why are you going to search for it? Even if it's like 50% or a quarter of what you would get in real life, it's
Yeah.
still something. And you don't have
well,
to try.
even
even
away
just
from it.
scrolling. I've seen
Scrolling.
like there's a lot of research on that. Just the fact that like just quick videos, right?
Yes.
And like even
Yes.
if a video
Our
isn't
attention
interesting
span
right at the
is
beginning,
shorter.
we're like next, like okay, nah, like we won't even watch or read or listen. It's just
Dude,
what
go,
does
go,
it-
go.
we want that quick
And I find that now even watching a movie, it's like it's hard for me to actually stay interested.
Yes,
So
or
it's
read a
like
book.
just affecting us all the time. You know?
See,
It's
and
like,
I'm
oh my God.
I'm that way with like series when they come out. I hate waiting one episode a week. I want to binge. I want it
Oh, yeah.
back to back
I
to
binge
back
for
to
sure.
back. I don't
Mhm.
want to wait. I'm so impatient, and it gets really frustrating. Like, yeah, watching new
I
series.
want to watch
is
it when
so
I want
hard
to
for
watch
me.
it.
Now,
I want to watch
Not
it
when
all
you
now.
tell me.
Yeah,
but isn't that
like-
crazy if you think back that instant gratification and how over time the online world has made that for us, that we need to have it now. And what are we sacrificing? Because think about when you only had a show airing, right? If you only watch like 3 shows, so you had 3 of your favorite shows, you really only got to see them 1 time a week, and that was 1 hour. So that's 3 hours of your week. Now you can watch 1 show in like 6 hours, and there's a million out there to watch. And I honestly, I hate to be this person, but it is damaging us in so many other ways. That's why I have these goal lists with you guys, to be like, okay, why do I have to read 5 pages? Because I could not do 10, because I was like, I just don't read anymore. And now I need to go back to 5, because I can I can get so much more information from watching a video, but I miss holding a book and learning.
I would choose to just sit and watch TV rather than.
And you absorb things reading way better and way better than. Like, I like a visual, so don't get me wrong. Like, I am a YouTube DIY queen. I will learn what I need to off of YouTube. But reading it sticks with you in a different way. Like, it's way different.
Yeah. And it just feels better.
Yeah. Reading for me, it has to be, this is also just like my brain works, but like it has to be really, really interesting, or like my brain will just like not stay focused and will just,
Okay.
Read the same paragraph over and over,
whatever.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, oh wow, I just read that whole page, but I don't remember reading any of it.
Yes,
so I wasn't actually paying attention, Yeah,
it has to actually trap you into what you're doing. I like reading in the bath, because I'm like, where else am I going to go? What else am I going to do? Like, this is a perfect place.
That's my favorite. Or outside in the morning with the tea before I work. Like, that's why I cannot wait for my summer.
Yes, that's why I want my upper deck. I know, fuck it. I just am so excited for summer.
Yeah, me too.
It's hard. It's beautiful here, but no. And I honestly, there's so many different things. When I actually started thinking about that, is like the progression of everything seems like it just went way faster since we have this online realities, like, and anyway, and it's like, I feel really blessed that we were growing up where we were still in touch with reality, because I feel like a lot of kids these days are growing up in a digital fake reality, and they're very out of touch, and it's going to, I'm kind of nervous of what that's going to look like.
They don't even know who they are, because
they've become more idol worshipping too, of like YouTubers and influencers and
stands and the woke mob,
like the Hollywood, and like just it's so
but
much
that's
more like
Hollywood,
funneled,
where us was magazines.
Yeah, like funneled to like specifics, and we were magazines and like Teen Bop and like Teen Tiger and all those like terrible, trashy, like awful, but you had the cutouts of all your favorite like people, and
all over my wall at one point.
Dude, I cut out so many. It was so embarrassing. I had this huge bulletin board that had Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie all fucking over it.
Like, yeah, it was all over Playboy.
Like, it was, I loved it. All over it. So did I. I had tons of Playboy things. Like, my younger years were definitely like way different than my like mid-teen years. Like, I can see the shift into like where there's no more magazines. Who buys magazines anymore? You can just get it online.
No. And it was so cool. I work at the bookstore, and I remember getting so excited to get all the magazines in and get to see it first. And now it's like no one cares. And I think, again, the simplicity was better, because now, great, Pinterest is great, all of this is great, but it's like, it's just too much. And they're already too confused. Like, the online influence, like, we had influence, but that was, again, very, not as much.
Subjective.
Now there's
on TV
now there's
here and there.
too. Like,
they're
like
using
certain
them a lot
algorithms
more.
And specific, so it's not even just.
That's why they built
getting to choose really what they're getting to see.
To get more to you in less time and more concentrated and just like in your face. That's, I guarantee, like, they saw that with the internet starting, and were like, here we go. This is how we're going to do it.
And it just affects so many things.
It does.
Absolutely. Like, I think the generations, like my child and like my, like some of my younger sibling, and just like Gen Z and beyond, like, they're growing up in such a, I don't want to say difficult, because it's not difficult per se, but in just a much more concentrated information. Like, you can, like, literally, once you have a phone as a kid, you have access to fucking everything.
Everything.
Unless your parents
That's
are smart enough to
terrifying.
put like locks and parent blocks and like stuff like that, but like who has the time, nor who like you trust or figure that your kid isn't going to be like diving into porn day one.
Mm-hmm.
But
you never know these days, though.
Yeah, like people use all these new apps and everything to target everyone. People like people scamming women, like men, kids. Like it's just no one's really immune. But
the fact
it just
that
opened up a door to like so much,
and just depression and mental health.
People
even what you're watching. Just screen
people
time.
prey on that too.
You know,
people prey on that too, and like you're so vulnerable online. I feel like it's once it's out there, it's out there for good usually, and.
Well, just think about how we compared ourselves. And this is what I always try to tell people when we talk about filters and all that kind of stuff. If we're going to sit here as a generation, as our generation, and blame the magazines and blame the celebrities that were showing an unrealistic idea of what a body should be, shouldn't we be doing the fucking same, better for the next generation as us with this new type of technology that's come out? Should we not
it's
then
gotten 10 times worse?
It's gotten 10 times worse. And when I bring this up, some people are like, yeah, you're absolutely right. And then some people just do it even more, or just like, or I'll see I'll post that, and then they'll post a story after filtering themselves and being like, well, I just look like shit today. So I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is if you're saying you've got body dysmorphia because of those rag mags in the 90s, 2000s, we're comparing people. And you're constantly posting filtered pictures of your face and you never show a natural one, you are doing the exact same thing to the next generation. I'm sorry. And that's
we're editing the size of your body.
Exactly.
But think about it. Before the internet, they didn't have that.
Yeah.
It was just in the magazine. It was just
because only celebrities could afford it or pay, or so now it's like everyday people. So that responsibility, in my opinion, has still influencers, still celebrities, but now shifted to everyday people. And most importantly, like to your children. Like, I know I'm not a parent, so I don't have to worry about this with Benjamin. But, if you're always showing your kids, oh, let's put a filter on, I'm just asking, what is that going to do? Just, this is what this is about. What is the side effects? We've seen the side effects of Playboy and the hypersexualization and MTV and, party life, and it's cool to just fuck everybody and not have relationships and, stray away from school. And now it's like, it's cool to be an influencer and dance on TikTok. Then, I'm not saying
now it's cool to do that and make money.
Yeah.
Well, but do that over like more important jobs too. Like I feel like our industries are going to start Our industries are going to start suffering because you can make easy money staying at home making stupid videos.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just monetized because more people are tapping into it. Right. And I've seen this other thing someone posted the other day. I think it might have been Dusty actually. And it said something, this girl was just saying, we can't only get mad at people like porn stars and OnlyFans because there's certain people that are paying for it. If people weren't paying for it, they wouldn't be doing it. And I was like, so that's where I'm saying we have a responsibility. We can't just get mad and then go and subscribe and do all that stuff and pay for it. I understand it's a business people get to, but
without the internet, it was always those 1-800 numbers, and that's all we had.
Or the videos.
So I feel like the internet expanded the opportunities for sex workers and for just like that whole industry to just explode. And not to mention obviously the stuff that involves children, but
and not even, and also just how somebody should look too.
And the pressures and the expectations and
and I feel trends move faster now that they're online. If you look back in you look over a decade
done now.
Yeah, so you look at a decade and you'll be like, oh, the 2000s, it was about being really, really skinny and really, really thin. Like you said,
Nicole, jeans, low-cut jeans,
no eyebrows,
Christina Aguilera, no eyebrows, very thin,
whale tail.
Yeah, exactly. And then and it took time. Now it's like these trends are like every 2 to 3 years. It's like, oh, you should be thick like a Kardashian, and oh no, all of a sudden she's getting her ass taken out, and now you should be thin again. And that's
not to mention all the brand and clothing trends,
or
all
makeup,
the
makeup trends, the makeup
trends, injections,
surgeries,
hair,
all
everything.
This stuff comes and goes, and then we find and it's just, I think at the end of the day, it's all a fucking marketing scheme. And I think my thing now is I want to do some things, but in the same sense, every time I'm like, but it's
mass marketing.
Yes, it's like, am I falling into this?
They want you to want to change.
I know. That's why it makes me mad.
Yeah,
that's
I think that's the hardest part.
It is. I'm like, and then part of me are like, oh no, it's good. Like, feel good, girl. And then I'm like, yes, to a degree. But I think, again, we always talk about balance, right? It's like knowing like you can get dressed up and do those things, but knowing that your worth doesn't lie in that, you know, where it's, and we talked about, this is what I want to bring up, Pinterest moms. And if you are one, I'm not shaming, because parts of me would think that I would be partly that way, but it's not everyone, and it's not realistic. And I feel like it makes me really sad how the comparisons game from mothers it's not real. And I feel like that's a vulnerable time. Yeah.
Mom shaming, absolutely. Like we said, body shaming, race shaming, gym.
Just like the bullying.
Just shaming, just bullying in general was hate. Like, because back in the day,
so easy now online.
To bully someone, it had to be in person.
Yeah. Or get their phone number somehow.
Calls,
Find it in the phone book.
Writing a letter. I've received a bully letter in junior high. So funny. Hey, my mom can attest that. I received a letter from a few girls.
Let's bring her on. I want to see it.
And it wasn't mailed, or was it mailed? I don't remember if it was mailed, or I think it was
slipped in your bag at school.
And it was a handwritten.
It sounds like a movie.
It's just 90s. Stupid. Like, that's how we got to each other. Now you can get to anyone anywhere, and you can get to them on multiple accounts, and multiple.
And you can find where they live.
People can dox you, and they actually send people swarm. They actually send people. The cops will swarm influencers' houses if there's a wellness check, if they don't think they're okay, and arrest them. And
back in the day, there's a fine, I think there still is a $500 fine for bullying, a police fine.
Yes, good. Because it's insane. And one biggest thing is, again, this online influence for people that we don't even know. I mean, I'm not saying whatever I had with Nicole Arbor was a real thing, because I don't think that was, but it could have been if I responded to her.
Because she needs to maintain that importance. So if someone's challenging her, it's either you're going to be harangued online and railroaded and embarrassed, or she's going to try and spin it weird.
But you just never know. Mental health problems she would have to be going through to have to just be stressing about all of that all the time.
All the time.
You know?
And I just
have to message you because it was just that.
But not even
the way she did, though,
post it publicly.
And on a picture of you and your your man looking all cute and positive, and she decided
multiple others too, right? So it's
I don't think I'm alone.
The funny one was the last post you made was the picture of the beautiful pot plant, and I guarantee people wanted on that for that reason.
I know.
And she chose the next one.
I know. I was like, why didn't you do my pot plant?
But
hate cannabis.
People are gonna come after me even more about this.
Like you said, though, a direct message of hey, I'm trying to understand what you mean about how I'm treating my fans, but no, instead she tries to make it public. Because of why. There's just no fair, it feels wrong.
It is. And she doesn't follow me. That's the thing. So this is what I want people to know. This is why I want people to know that I feel like if it was me a year ago, I would have tried to I would have been really upset and would have been no, because so here's the thing. She doesn't follow me, even though I did pay for the Go team, whatever. It's not a big deal. But she doesn't follow me back, whatever, no big deal. I stopped tagging her and things because she just would leave me on read. Unless we were in the Go Team Academy, then she would answer, tag back, which fine, whatever. I get it. It's a business. Mm-hmm. But I didn't tag her. Out of everything that she's released over the last couple of weeks about people stalking her and whatnot, I didn't comment on anything because I honestly don't know. And I was just sitting back watching. Yeah. And now this Candace Owens thing's come out, and it was at the same time that Steven Crowder was dragging the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro and all of them and Candace Owens, and she got upset about it. And so now people are going after Candace Owens. And I thought that's kind of an ironic time when she's, very viral right now. Exactly. And I was like, she seems to be this girl that likes to jump in, and she says that other people are using her. I don't know if that's true, but just watching, I'm weird. So I just shared it, didn't tag her, nothing. All I said is being someone who has seen the shitty side, which I have friends from Canada that booked to go to Vegas to see her for a live event that got canceled and rescheduled to never. So they spent all this money going down to Vegas to this event that never happened and never actually rescheduled. And that's what I mean by being shitty. It's like Fire Festival and a different, not really, but you know, exactly. Like just pure, and no one has called her, and it's fine. Things happen, whatever. So I didn't tag her because I didn't want to upset her further. She's obviously going through shit. So then when you go to look at who shares your stuff without tagging, you actually have to go to a separate page where it says, see who shared my reel. So she must have gone through to see who commented and who shared, viewed it. Instead of responding, she went, like you said, to my public
stress and mental.
Would she have shared your story if it had been something positive about her? I guarantee
that's what I mean.
She wouldn't have given you any time of day.
Exactly. No. If I would have been like, yeah, go, like, or whatever, then she
maybe
would have
like it or something.
But I think to me, it was like, who can I see that's against me that I could start fighting and drag online and bring more to my page? Well, a couple days later, it was like, oh my God, almost 1 million views on this video. Why do you care about the views? Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I don't need her to come at me more. I'm just saying, like,
people that live for the views is just.
Yeah. And it's just a different personality. Same with Andrew Tate. Like, it's so hard to pin this guy down because it's like, at one end, he's saying everything that we're all saying. So it's not really anything new. But then he says persona, where everyone's like, oh, he's pretending to be misogynistic. He's not, but he has influence. So it's like, even if he's pretending to be this guy, I don't want him to pretend to be that guy. I don't care if it's a character to make money. I think that's gross. Sorry, rant over. Anyways, just saying, had I commented, we know what would have happened. It would have been, she would have come at me and got her trolls to go at me. She did it.
Yeah,
like, it happened.
Getting her panties in a twist and freaked out. And
it's just better not to answer. And I was about to delete it and I was like, no, because then it's just like, it's whatever. I'm just going to leave it there because so many people would be like, well, that's a weird comment with no context. So it's just, I don't know. I could have gotten myself in a shitty situation there. And I was just like, you know what? No. And it sounds like a bunch of tea is going to be spilt from Tommy Vex mid-February. So I'll be watching.
It's crazy how much like power that influencers have online too. Yes. Like they are literally, I'm sure there's a bunch of them out there that consider themselves to be celebrities. When it's just like they are just on a very heightened, extended 15 minutes of fame because the internet is ever changing and someone new will come along, something more grasping and like entertaining. And it's just, I feel like the nature of that beast, like it's a revolving door and it's going fast. Like,
isn't
it's
it
not
exhausting though? You know, that's why I think for us, I think that's why all of us love this is that we've always been doing authentically what we want to and what we're enjoying, you know? It's not just like, it's not just like what's popular and keeping up with the trends and having to figure it out. It's just like what we authentically like to do. And I couldn't imagine being that space in a creator where you have to constantly keep up with the trends to stay relevant.
And not be who you are.
Yeah, you can't remain true to yourself because you have to keep up with what's like popular and
like that's just not healthy. You know?
No,
because I think
I feel like that also lends to the whole like crisis we're going through of like kids are just, no kid knows who they are. No kid knows exactly what they want to be at a young age.
They're anxious. They're depressed. They're confused.
Scroll Rolodex.
They're antsy because they can't play a video game or be on the internet. When the internet crashes and they're like, holy fuck.
But they're also shown like all these like beauty standards and just standards in general that just like are not possible to meet up to, and it's just it's ruining their childhood because they're obsessed and like look at all those joke videos online that say look at 13-year-olds now versus 13-year-olds when we were 13.
So like we were still wearing kids.
Dude, you know? I live by a junior high, and the amount of girls in the summer that I see wearing crop tops and like all like the new like they look like they just peeled out of like fucking Miley Cyrus's closet. Like it's like, how is this one allowed? Two, like I looked like a fucking bridge troll. I feel
like you have to go through that.
Yeah. White, thick.
People still probably didn't know if I was a boy with really long hair or not.
Biggest tomboy that couldn't figure out how to be a girl. Like it was like the most awkward stage. But now they're all like perfect and prim and proper because they have to be. They feel like.
And we wore shit that still didn't match even at that age, and like checkers with stripes and whatever.
Literally, like the worst.
But they also have
figure
They
out
have
anything
TikTok
else,
and YouTube, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
we had all that time as kids, but we were hanging out with each other, and we were,
You didn't
you know,
have
doing
that
school or activities, or we didn't give a
Well,
shit
and they
about
just see
that
all
kind of
these
stuff.
famous,
Yes.
fake,
Look how cool it is.
beautiful, whatever
Our
people, and they're
beauty
like, "This is
gurus
just what I want to be. This
were
is what I
not
need to be. This is all I
this.
see."
Yeah,
Yeah.
like our gurus of all sorts were just not. It was people we looked up to, or the magazines, or your mom that showed you how to do things like makeup wise. Like, we didn't have all the like everything at our fingertips of like, what do I want to learn today? How do I do this makeup? What am
Which I mean, you
like?
can tell by makeup pictures from back in the day. Blue with purple with whatever, just
Sparkle everywhere and
Let's just, like,
everything.
yes.
Concealer, lipstick, and
Oh
like
my god,
thin
concealer,
chin,
lipstick.
thin eyebrows. Like, it was just like trash.
So
Little
maybe-
face, white body.
Yeah, maybe the internet did do good with that. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
like,
it did the world a
There's
solid there.
beyond good. Yeah.
we walked so they could run.
Yeah,
Truthfully.
exactly. Bitches be lucky. Now I fucking, what's this like contouring?
Yeah.
I'm like, aren't we still using blush or like
Yeah.
bronzer? We're not doing that.
The
no
same
more. We
thing
don't do that.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Ridiculous.
The whole face, that's not, oh shit. But I do think there's a lot of positive, because I think when it comes to like the spiritual awakening of everyone and people learning and the awareness of it, I think is great. But I think there's too many people unaware of the side effects of
I
all
think
of
if it's
this.
not overconsumed and not the wrong things, which is hard because when you're just scrolling through,
The algorithm
you can
is
get anything.
geared towards crap.
But like if you're only, let's say, only following just very positive things, and you're only looking at only their pages, and you just look every so often, and you don't care if you can't see their story that day, like then I think it's okay. And you know, it connected all of us.
yeah.
But if you're
absolutely.
just always scrolling or
Yeah.
like I
Feeling
find that's my
lacking.
time filler, and it's not good. Like
No,
it's
and that's
a bad for time management because
You're
like
sitting
you just
there
get
and it's
caught up.
just
You're
like-
like, oh shit,
it's
it's
an
been 30
instant,
minutes.
Yeah, I'm bored now. What do I do? What do I look for? Oh
Yeah.
wait, no, I was watching a movie, and then you kind of watch, and then you catch yourself still kind of like,
Or even like Google something that I
Yeah.
actually need to Google or important or for my business, and then I'll end up just on
Scrolling.
Instagram, and I'm like, fuck sakes.
God damn it. And
I get
that's
see-
why.
Imagine the
That's
kids
why-
that have been around nothing but that. We have years
that's what I
of
mean.
like programming,
Somewhat
that has
restrained.
nothing to do with the internet and computers. I
And we're
remember
somewhat
my first
adults.
computer, the big block brick thing with like a huge
Yes.
tower and like
Mhm.
everything.
The
was
noises.
wired. Yeah,
The noises
like,
that
You
came
can
out of
use
it.
your
And on that
telephone at the same time, dial up.
yeah,
shit
or
like
when
that
you.
too.
And then in the transition, when you'd get a text message and the speakers of your phone would do that, dee, 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 dee.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, I'm getting a
Yeah.
text message, like stupid shit like that.
I'm burning
I,
CDs,
like-
downloading music and burning
Oh my
CDs.
god, I was the biggest CD burner. Like,
yeah,
do you have a
we
lot
did that
still?
a lot.
A lot.
A lot
yeah.
of mixed random CDs.
I still
And
have
see,
so
you
many,
don't
yeah.
do that
I like them
anymore.
all.
We
Like,
even
this
made slideshows on CDs with pictures, and you just watch
Yes.
them on your
Yes.
DVD player randomly in the living room, like as
You
a
give
fun
it to
activity.
presents. You're like, here,
Yeah.
Mom, happy Mother's Day.
I feel
I
like
truly,
my stepmom
truly
so
miss-
did that. Here's a bunch of pics.
I missed burning CDs of all kind because
I
that
know.
was
That was
the
a
time to be
gift.
alive.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's why I feel like we're super blessed. And that's why it's like, I do think a lot of this is great. It's nice to have music at our fingertips. But again, look at what it took away, because how much did it mean to you when someone burnt you a CD? And it was like,
Well, that's
you
like
went
I
through
was
the
actually
time
trying
and-
to make.
Release. You have to
Yeah.
like, go to
Mhm.
the freaking HMV,
Yeah.
run in there as fast as you can, grab
Yes,
it,
this
Yeah.
instant
peel the
everything.
plastic off,
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
making
memorize
simplicity.
the lyrics,
Yes.
the pamphlet.
Oh my gosh! In public school, I would bring just the pamphlet.
and
Me and my friends would be in the back singing, reading, and like dumb shit like that. You just and like not the CD case, literally just the pamphlet out of it.
yeah.
And now it's like,
Like,
you just go to
those are the days.
Spotify and it's just right there, and you don't have to
Yeah,
talk to
yeah.
anybody and you're by
Kids
yourself.
don't
I just
have the joy
Or
of that
Google.
anymore.
no.
No,
And like
I
think
remember
about
getting cassettes and like the inserts in cassettes.
yes, and even just
But I
thinking
feel like
about
that's
like
why things aren't enough for them anymore.
yes,
There's
because they're
always
just so
gotta be
used to more. And like think about like video games. Like, you know, I used to think that didn't matter, but think about how it's so much easier to watch human beings die than watching an animal die. And it's
Oh,
like every single video game out there, majority is about dying and killing. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
am I the only, and I used to be the person that's like, that's stupid, that's not going to affect anything. And then I look at human society now and I'm like, but so many people think others are worth nothing. And you can't tell me that that's not that. And like, we see where it's been and where it's going with this AI shit and this digital reality where people are already depressed from just social media. What kind of depression is going to come from a digital reality where you can't make it because you don't have enough money or you're politically not okay, or you know what I mean? Like,
kind of freaks me out for that reason. And like the virtual reality of like, you can literally live in a very real looking and like,
they have virtual porn.
Dude,
that's
virtual,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, it interests me, but it stresses me out.
Stresses me right out. But that's what we said. You know, we're like, oh, this is cool, and they're like, okay, this is not cool because
I feel like.
But the AI of not knowing what's real and what's not online, though, that's even scary.
Hell, look at online relationships now.
Yes.
Catfish was like one of my guilty pleasure TV shows, and like that thing.
But we watch 90 Day Fiance, which half the time it's.
That show has been running for how long? Like people are constantly getting fucked over and like duped online.
You would think
by relationships, by scammers.
I was just by scammers.
In my opinion, OnlyFans, like you're wasting your money. Like I just don't get it.
There's
like,
porn for free. I don't. Anyway,
it's just it's ridiculous that like. Yeah, like this, it's still a thing. Like people still fall for it. That's what gets me a lot of the time is the scams and like the relationship where like this, your aunt is in love with this like young dude abroad, and it's like every red flag you've ever seen on any show, movie, or TV, and they still are like, oh, but he loves me. It's like,
oh, like that one guy. I watched this girl. She called him a thumb, and he was. I think it was off the.
He has no neck. Big Ed.
Yes, Big Ed.
Big Ed. I knew it. No neck Ed is what I call him. But
you said thumb, I knew exactly.
Me too. Yeah.
And like that even evolved, right? Like think about those shows. Like we watch reality, like TLC shows, and now look at the involvement where we're watching like very sick individuals, and we're all getting entertainment. I'm not saying I'm not guilty of it too.
Danielle and I's favorite shitty reality, The Circle, is literally. You play as online people. You never meet anyone, and that's the whole purpose. Is you have like social media.
You either be yourself or you choose to be somebody fake,
and you have to make your way through this game by
people
popularity
vote people
and
out.
Influencing people.
So you have
to
be
you
liked.
In the game.
So that's why you choose. And a lot of people, it's so sad when people choose to not be themselves because they're like, well, it's because
I feel like you automatically
like
don't win.
People wouldn't like me. And
you automatically lose because as soon as people find out that you're being deceptive in any way, how do you trust someone? How do you believe anything?
Exactly.
Yeah. Actually, that's not true. Delisa won, remember? And she played her husband.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
but
just true, Trevor.
I feel like it's just online reality is not reality. Online reality is highlight reel, the perfect, you see, like, it's not always what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
No.
And that's why it's sad with kids these days.
That's why I try.
They think that is reality.
They do. And that's why I always try, like, at least in my stories, like, first thing in the morning when I haven't washed my face, I haven't brushed my teeth, like, my hair is a mess.
I love your morning stories.
I know.
Thank you. I just try because I don't want to create this like false idea. And, you know, the other day I was talking to one of my girlfriends and I was seeing her like forehead move and I was like, I'm not trying to be that way, but just sometimes I feel like we're in such a fake world and just like human emotion is gone in so many ways. And I was just like, why did I get excited about seeing her eyebrows move? I was like, that's a weird thing to be excited about. But I feel like it's because you know, there's everything so filtered and perfected in photos that when you actually see real life expression,
and people,
I've just missed it, I guess. And so it was just like, I don't know, maybe I'm just coming around now after being away, and I appreciate the digital world for what it gave during COVID and stuff, and that I can do my job from, you know, and there is digital opportunities. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just like with porn, just like with the clown world, we got to be aware of the things, and the good and the bad that it does and call it out. So is it great? It brought us all together. Absolutely. That's like the fucking coolest thing. This whole show is built off of connection through social media, and I am not going to ever take that away. but social media has almost been the absolute death of me at the same time, where I've questioned everything about myself. And I, as a 36-year-old woman with somewhat advantage, because my mom was very honest with me growing up of reality, couldn't imagine what it's like being in this like online digital imprint my whole entire life. I very worry. And I don't think people are really understanding because they're so wrapped up in theirs, right? And like, if it wasn't for you guys, so when we started our goals, I was at about like 3.5 hours social media. And this week was a little bit more, but last week and this week it was like 140 to 154 a week. And that was only because I went to go on it and I look and see where it was and I'd be like, that means I have to put an X on my fucking gold list. And I don't need to go on right now. Like I really don't. And now with that, like, is even though it's Meta, but it's like the business suite is literally just you posting stuff. It's not seeing it in messages. So you can talk to people in comments, but you're not scrolling. And that's what my issue was. So I'm like finding the tools to help set up boundaries so that you aren't depressed all the time. But it is so addicting watching these videos leading up to the show. It's the same thing as drug, guys. It's the same thing as pornography.
I feel like if they would have just stopped with email and we could just all communicate via email without some sort of social platform, it would be like a little bit better. Because at least it's still correspondence and like the same, not the same.
That's why I like texting,
obviously, but like, and like correspondence that way is like kind of like loophole. Like I feel like it's still correspondence, it's still connecting with someone, even if it's over the phone. But the social like pressure aspect of like, having to like post pictures, post interesting pictures, post
and
pictures
people these days are just caring too much.
Yes.
Not posting enough or just,
or getting mad at your
so
opinion.
Much online pressure.
Oh my
you're
God,
just like,
that's the thing.
Be honest, but don't
like,
be honest.
Virtue signaling and like all the people like that bitch at each other in comments. Like there's so much predators hiding behind fake profiles.
So I mean, like they brought
there's
too many haters and bullies and just
crap that comes with the good, that it's kind of it's a really shitty handbag to reach in and take out, you know what I mean?
And it's a journey to like go through it and like check yourself constantly, right? Like we all do it, things will be good, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm comparing again, fuck, like throw my phone across the room, like, okay, focus on something else. But it's shitty because there's so much stuff to consume there that's great too, that I'm like, oh my God, that video made me feel so good, or the girls are gonna laugh at this, or oh, this is really interesting. That's why I'm always like, sharing, okay, like, YouTube, Rumble, like but those, when we're texting, we can't share those fun videos as much. And so it's like, that's why you guys will hear from me.
So,
and then you won't.
You have to have that platform to share that photo. And it's like, all right, let's download it.
Fuck.
But even if it is like all good and
fucking
positive
TikTok
too, like I still need to stop wasting as much time.
Oh yeah.
Because it just takes away from a lot of things,
Well, like Brandy has said, it's where you get your dopamine hit from. So as soon as you get used to that and you don't really have not joy in anything else, but like it's just not the same effect. So then you start
an easy, quick procrastination.
Instant.
Yes.
And then you start
if
losing.
I procrastinate.
Yes. Well, like, I have to do this is research. Show. 6 hours later.
That's another thing. Like diving into rabbit holes with the internet is much easier. Like you don't have to get on a book or like find the very obscure website. Like now that social media and like all that
so easy to find
in your face all the time.
Whether you want to or not.
The fact that people aren't awakening like is still confusing to me because it's like so like oversaturated.
All there.
Or doing more research and not trusting the first thing you read or see too.
And coming to the last few years of misinformation and disinformation. Like you don't know what to believe anymore on the internet.
Even pictures though, like it's just
with AI,
like those things that were edited, a year ago from the Freedom Trucker or the
Dude, we went to Calgary this weekend and there was people on the overpasses for the anniversary.
Here too.
Yeah,
there was some here too.
Honked. It was awesome.
Yeah, love that.
I know, right?
Yeah, even then, bunch of shit like that was to make look
exactly, and that was a positive. And then it turned into negative, and it's just like you have to be so careful. Like look at Jordan Peterson.
And it influenced so many in a very good way, and a lot of people woke up from that. But it also influenced and turned so many too in a bad way, and like still just.
I feel like confirmation bias is like so bad now with the internet.
Yes.
You can literally find anything to confirm your point,
exactly,
and like almost anything to negate your point. That's why WebMD, like before WebMD, people did not feel like they were dying all the time. But now you go into WebMD and it's like, oh my God, my nose hurts. I've got a tumor. It's over for me. Like, what?
So they say don't Google your symptoms. And I do it every time too. And I'm like, fuck. I don't do it.
But I will scroll through like lots of things. And I'm like, well, this is what I found the most of. So
but at the same time,
stupidest and smartest
you can
at the
use
same time.
Google and YouTube to learn so much. Like you can learn to sew, you can learn to can, you can learn to garden,
and Instagram and things like that.
Build
too.
things. You can learn
business
to code.
stuff.
Like you can learn so much good information so quickly, but it comes with the other hand of so much crap quickly.
Yeah, and it's a balance. I think it all comes back to balance, right? It's
dangerous. It just has to be used like properly, I guess.
Yeah, and smart, and like
is very
It's
which
hard
you
to
find
regulate.
funny that people, it's not advertised or not so much advertised as encouraged to not consume. You don't see doctors or like commercials saying like, make sure you turn your TV off or make sure your phone's off. Like because they need that.
No,
like
they
a
want
certain
that
amount of time before bed. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you hear it from
like
people, but it's not
this
government
topic.
telling
There was
you.
actually a lot of physical, like I found more physical effects just
there actually is
research than there was like the mental stuff that we've been talking a lot about too.
Yeah.
Which I thought there would be more of. But there's actually a lot of physical, like whether it be the light in your eyes or the fact that you don't sleep because of all of that too. And
have you guys seen the photo of like what they say a person's going to look like in the future with like gaming and computer? It's like this weird hunchback,
well,
like short neck.
Like, are we going back to cavemen?
Yeah. And it's true. Like if you consume like the
bad posture,
blue light
another thing actually
from a certain time to a certain time, it completely throws off all your internal like melatonin production and like different kind of like
your circadian rhythm or whatever.
Yeah, it throws your circadian rhythm way off, and then you're like
But even jobs
crazy.
are doing that too, though, if you think about it. Like, think about back in the day before we actually had jobs with lights. They could only work when it was light outside. So you slept as the night, you know what I mean? And we're talking about that. Like, how crazy would that be? Like, here in the wintertime, you could only work in the light because you had no light. You know, so people slept to when it was dark. And now it's like people are working night shift. People are getting up at the crack of dawn and working hours before. And our bodies just aren't used to that. I think that's why we all thrive
not
so
leaving
much
your house
in the
Sometimes
summer.
If I don't
not
go
leaving
to
your
the
house.
office on Monday, I don't leave my house for like over a week.
Hell,
Yes,
other than dropping off and picking up my daughter from day home, I don't go anywhere. I work from home.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter too, right? Because they're like, fuck that, it's cold outside.
Well, not to mention, outdoor activity is like completely limited.
But then you have like the effects of feeling more socially awkward or
Well, and that's where it comes into play. I used to tell Nick, because we used to always like, you're always on your phone argument to each other all the time. But a lot of the times I told him, I said, but this is my social life. This is where all my friends are. This is where my family is. Like I can reach anyone and anyone I need to when I want to. And I don't have to do anything. And I didn't realize how like disgusting saying that is. Like I don't need to go see anyone. I don't need to go visit them. No. I'll just call them. I can just text them. Like it limits face to face, and face to face is so important.
And we don't have to, right? Like me and Dee are like, oh, let's just Skype, even though we're like 20, neither of us want to drive that bridge. None of us. We're gonna, and when it's nicer, for sure. But you know what I mean? It's made it easy, which is nice.
To convenience, right?
But it's everything is convenience now, right? And nothing's real. And I think that's why there's so much heightened emotions, because people are just like thoughts and ideas and everything, and then it's like emotional reacting, and there's no chill and regulating and
another thing that
stimulating
is like crazy since the internet came around is crappy food and like fast food consumption.
Oh yeah,
you can get everything delivered to your house now,
and those are the commercials that you see.
Yeah,
too.
And no one has time.
Dishes.
No one has time
DoorDash,
to make dinner.
Uber
no one has
Eats,
time to do all that.
Money they are making is
and the food.
And no one has time because we're scrolling on Instagram.
Hell, they've even got 2 convenience stores. You can go to like, you can get like 7-Eleven shit and like
I literally ordered a box of wine like a couple weeks ago.
Drug stores, cannabis stores,
cannabis stores,
everywhere
everything.
has delivery. You don't have to leave your house at all.
Oh man, do you remember the difference though from like just being able to order pizza and Chinese? And then
that was about it. Pizza and Chinese.
The odd little mom pop, whatever.
Yeah.
Or like
and
Pizza 73.
Everything. Like that was
literally
a huge change.
Yeah.
Like
I
and
remember
again,
when they
making people lazy.
Skip the dishes and like all those came out, especially heavy through the pandemic. I like promised myself, which obviously I broke it, but like I promised myself I would never, ever, ever, ever get McDonald's delivered to my house because that is just like tragic. Just like
the worst is when it's down the street and you're like,
I was just gonna say Wendy's. That was
like 5 minutes down the street, and I would order. And the first time I did, I just like I put my phone down. And I was like, oh my god.
I know, right? We've all done it.
I paid $11 for them to bring me my $12 Subway.
And I could have, walked or driven the 4 minutes it is. Like,
I don't want to.
It just hurt how, like,
but it's fast.
Convenience is just...
It's it now.
So conditioned to just need everything conveniently and now and quick.
Yes. Yep.
And the internet,
look at the
I am an
society
impatient person, and I don't know if it's blood because it is definitely blood as well. But like, definitely just.
I don't have time.
We don't want to wait
out now.
Stuff.
We don't want to wait for anything.
Everyone else is guilty of this too. Well, like you said, you're watching a movie and you can't stay focused. You're like, oh, I got to look at my phone, and then you'll be like literally on your phone,
a commercial,
working and watching something at the same time, and it's like I'll be and I like to watch like shows I've already watched and then work on stuff. But I'll sit down and watch it, and that I can kind of understand. Yeah, but then it's like I'll watch a movie that I've never watched, and I go to grab my phone. I'm like, how about you focus on what is in front of you? But it's like it's almost like you're missing out. Like online makes you feel like there's so much out there, and if you don't consume it all right now, multiple times, you're not getting enough. And I think it's honestly exhausting everybody. And I think we all need to just like.
I think we're all mentally unhealthy.
I feel like it's
we're
crazy
unwell.
That, like, people idolize everyday regular people too that have like a huge following. Like it becomes as soon as you have a huge following, you're like this,
it's just
like,
that famous
viral.
And it's like people put all their weight and all their eggs in your basket, so to say, and it's like, who the fuck are you?
We don't know those actual
down
people.
The street. I don't know you for shit. I see what you post online, what you're curated to. I feel like everyone now is a salesman.
Yes,
and like,
everything.
I find that to be so like
and follow us on Rumble.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
Kidding.
We are a part of this now that we do like a full online podcast. Like I don't by any means expect to have any sort of following, nor do I want one, to be completely honest with you, because I feel like it does. It inherently, no matter what you do, it changes you in one way, shape, or another.
Yes.
Either
I mean, we've seen some locals.
People, you dive into it head first and go overboard, or you back away and quit social media altogether. Look at Andre. He quit social media. It got too much, and he completely like people were harassing him and like coming at him for things he was saying.
Yeah, and death threats and stuff like that. Just because.
Goodbye.
Yep.
And then we have you see other people that like they get like a smidge of a following, and you think
they're the queens.
It's the
or like
15-minute of fame type thing where it's just I don't like it.
It's wild.
It's too much.
It's too much.
I feel like that's where you can't trust anyone. You can't trust anything anymore on the internet.
No.
You don't know.
You can't at all.
Anything.
No.
Yeah.
No. And that's why it's important to make those real connections and like get to know people on a deeper level. And that's why I like how we're really focusing more on getting away from the social platforms and getting to things like podcasts and YouTubes and videos and
it's
chatting
more authentic.
and websites and that,
discourse.
Discourse about stuff, not just like overwhelmed all the time. Like I used to love Instagram because as a photographer, it was very inspiring because it was just photos. It wasn't really people's opinions about stuff. It was just art and people's art. Like
I don't even know if you could comment at one point.
No, I don't think you could. Right? I think it was just photos. And I don't even think you could like caption it as much. And it's not saying I don't love it now because again, it's brought all of us, but I think, again, it's just going back to that simplicity of like when I'm posting stuff now, it's because I want to look back on that in a year and be like, look at how cool my year was.
Because I
like,
just want to
I'm
post
excited.
it. Yeah.
Excited about, like, I'm not worried about, this one got like 12
0
likes.
likes.
Like, who cares?
If it
you want to do it for yourself and not for the masses, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's so
such
hard
a good
to
feeling.
like post anything nowadays without that like lingering like back burner
100%.
thought of like, are people gonna like this? Like, should I even post this? Like, is this something?
And the excitement of like, people like that, and you're like,
it's not going to be necessarily should I post this for people to like because you want all the likes, but it's just it's an instant you feel like judged, like, oh my god, are people gonna like think weirdly of me? Like, is this appropriate?
Our last episode, I'm like really making our reels
about it.
Making our reels, and I was like, and it was just like, well, the first thing she's gonna see is anal sex, and I'm like, how am I gonna bleep that out?
Oh my god, I'm gonna bleep that.
You did. It was, and that is a reel that Danielle picked, so that's part of the reel.
See, now I will be immortalized on the internet shouting anal sex.
It is. So there's a beep feature. I just haven't figured out how to use it, so I'm not going to use it, and we'll see what Instagram has to say.
It's
true though. It's true though. We have to talk about this, guys. Like, y'all think it's just like we said in the last episode. It's not just like when we started the internet. It is not that anymore. It is buying a girlfriend at your fingertips, buying hardcore,
whatever you want at your fingertips,
buying whatever you want on the black market. Like, I don't know how to get there, but
selling whatever you want,
whatever you want,
finding whoever and whatever you want.
Yeah,
information. Like,
how do you think that? Like, not that it wasn't prevalent before, but like, I feel like the
trafficking.
Trafficking in the pedo community has probably like exponentially.
Whenever Snapchat came out and there was a location thing where you could just share with people, that went up so much, just the trafficking stuff.
Yes. If you think about it, 100%. Honestly, like, what else is that for? To show exactly where people are on a map. I've always had that ghosted. I've never had that feature activated.
I don't get me too.
But like, they disappear in 24 hours. You can get random stuff from people if you don't have your like settings set right. And like,
you can find
there's a lot of like those like weird like Sydney heart flower, and it's like, you know exactly what the hell like XX is like. They're like, it's just, they're not creative, and it comes at you from everywhere. Hell, look at Roblox. Have you guys seen the stories of like predators coming through Roblox to kids? That weird.
Oh, yes. That's been going on for a while too. Like, they'll pretend to be kids, and then they'll lure them out of the house.
So many creepy avenues for people to like get at kids, to get at women, to get at people in general. Like, it's
vulnerable people in general.
Anyways, scams, like, and talk about like online influencers, like we're talking about that, buy this, buy that, and they just like like, and like we're talking about in next season, it's like cult following, and online I feel like
online cult followings are brutal.
Like, there is, and they are, because you think like the woke mob and like the liberalism isn't what it used to be, and I feel like social media changed what it was to be a liberal and
or a conservative.
I was going to say, it comes from
both sides now. It's
like,
look at the freedom community. Some of the stuff
I'm real disappointed.
That has come out of the freedom community has been like, really,
I'd say I'm more center leaning more than I ever have been. Like, I'm still for Polyev, but
super like freedom, and then it kind of like branched out into like, okay, well, you need this and take this, and here, like, I'll teach you this, and
you need this to survive.
And all for learning and sharing skills and knowledge
from the system
is so important. But like, then to like everyone, it's always for something. Like, it's never an exchange, and it's still all tied back
online.
That's why that barter it
back to being online.
That barter it I really like, because it'll be exchanging like things for things, service for service, information for information. But right now, the way it is, like, people don't do anything that isn't for money online, I find. Like, money, it is always trying to come up and scrounge and find a way to make money. Like, look at MLMs. MLMs have gone fucking through the roof since the internet.
And like the last couple of years, they've gone through the roof. After the pandemic,
we had Avon, Mary Kay, and then
Tupperware.
I feel like Tupperware. The tea lights,
Herbalife
tea lights.
Yep, tea lights. Yep.
So like we had very few
Epicure
bigger,
maybe was kind of
maybe even Scentsy very early.
Some of
very
the older
early,
ones, but like now
Scentsy.
you've got literally fucking I don't even know.
OnlyFans is an
I don't
MLM.
even know. Oh yeah.
It's a tabernacle butthole MLM.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's the real
It's
there.
That's the other thing is the money making on the internet
just
is
network
not
marketing.
always as easy as it says it is, but
No.
they sure make it seem like you can make bazillions on
Yes.
the
And there's a lot that
now we just have a bunch of people quitting their jobs and struggling to try and make this money that they're not going to make unless they already have a good following or enough trust following it. But then, I don't know.
And I think that's what goes back to all our like core is informed consent and digital online lives and personas. They don't allow that because like even the one girl that we was talking about in the last episode, she said that she didn't think that she had any trauma that led her to the porn industry. But then she was talking about like some very traumatic stuff about watching her sister try to commit suicide and all this stuff and how she had looked up to the Playboy bunnies and how they had it all and they just had to be pretty, and so she strived to be them because she just didn't want to be in her house. And I was like, sweetie, that's trauma. And that is back then what people are doing now with online influencers and OnlyFans and all that and all those models, Instagram models the most, because they're saying, oh, look they're just modeling and they're so happy, but they don't see that you have to make a certain amount of money to keep up that lifestyle. It's the same thing with, MLMs with the fraud. That's my beef with them is the fraudulent selling of the lifestyle of, hey, you'll make this much money if you do this, that, the other. And your validation of that is my life that I'm showing you on social media. And it's like, but
I
that's
do
not
find
real
too
life.
that with everything that is out there, it's so oversaturated that I feel like it lended itself to the big awakening that's happened over the last 2 years. There's so much out there that it's just like, it's so obvious now. Like it's just clearly obvious on like so many different agendas and so many different like tactics to get to us that I feel like it might be crumbling. But then that begs the question, what the hell do we do, or what do you do when there is no internet?
That's what I'd like to know.
Internet means no phone,
no job,
no Google, no job. No, internet is kind of linked to power, but like we won't get into that. But like internet in general, like
a lot of people, even if you don't work from home, your work,
all your systems, the bank system.
Oh yeah,
unless you still do everything on paper or just Excel.
Yeah. Honestly, like construction workers, all your payroll, every company, every fucking company's
your
payroll.
bank.
But even the people you talk to,
do you do?
The people that you deal with,
we would be completely disconnected.
We'd be completely
fucked. To literally come find each other to talk.
Yeah. And it's not possible to completely break out of all of that and not use, like, the world is evolving, and I don't think, like, you got to remember there's two sides of the coin here. There's one side of the coin that think evolution is trash, and then there's the other side that thinks it's amazing. And I like to land in the middle where it's like, I want to progress and I do want to be a part of this in some capacity.
But you got to be conscious
but
about
I want
it.
to, exactly, and I still want to have my boundaries and my grounding to real life. And if these things and shit hits the fan, what am I going to be able to do? But even then, think about, like, and I'm not saying that people are wrong, but if we fell for every single time someone said, go buy this and, prep your homes. And that was like, I had one girl that was just like, Brandy, you need to stop paying debt and you need to go buy food. She was like saying this to me. And I was like, I love you, but no, because the last time when the pandemic happened, my debt was what killed me. And I went even further into it. And if I didn't, I probably would have been okay. I would have been able to survive, but it was because I couldn't keep on top of the little payments that took me deeper. As much as I want to have all this food, I can't go triple into debt again because I'm never going to come out. Sure. And now I look back and I go, okay, well, I have like a month's worth of like random dry food if something does happen. But again, like you said, in the freedom movement, that's what it was like. It was really good at first, but now it's still sometimes too much, and I think it was a smack to all of us.
That's just online for you. It's
both sides.
Fear mongering.
Too much.
It's fear mongering.
All sides.
It's trying
wherever
to
you can sell.
Make your products
always
super necessary, or like make your information that you hold or the whatever like.
And it's like a tactic.
It is, and it's another sales tactic. It's big. Yeah. The internet is literally all about mass marketing in almost every capacity. If you're not selling yourself on the internet, what the fuck are you doing on the internet?
What are we doing then? Just kidding. Follow us on Rumble.
I was going to say, we don't sell ourselves in any like desirable way besides our brains, but like
besides these sexy voices.
That's what like the people that
I figured out my hair now a bit better.
You must really like us to want to listen to our opinions.
Yes, you guys, as always. And that's the thing. It's like, we're always saying that, you can't just erase it all, because there is beauty. There has been amazing progression.
So grateful for this.
Through the pandemic, could you imagine if none of this was available and we couldn't see our families this way? All of us use phones,
baby shower, laptops, and all sorts of stuff because I was pregnant over the internet. And if it wasn't for the internet, I would have been literally screwed out of the entire exciting stages, parties, experience of pregnancy. And that's what I mean. Like that really like made a difference, right?
And like we said in all these episodes, there's a lot of stuff, but we need to bring to awareness the things that are happening, the massive amount of people that are addicted to it. Yes. And be aware and call yourself out, and you'll start getting mad. And you'd be like, wow, I thought I had more control over myself. And, like maybe
and then you realize a lot of things we said, you're like, oh yeah,
how bad a problem it is.
Probably scroll less.
Yes. And like, think about it this way. This thing pissed me off one day, and it was just like, if you open your phone first thing in the morning, then you're letting something outside of you dictate how you feel for the day. And that made me mad. I was like, no, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I started doing all of my morning routine before I open Instagram.
Or you get distracted and don't do things you need
I don't do it. And I'm like,
starting work later than I need to, because I end up just spending longer on my phone than I need to.
Yeah.
I saw a post today. Someone said, you don't have to, or it's a quote, I don't have time to go to the gym. Oh yeah, go check your screen time.
You don't have time. Yeah.
Go check your screen time and tell me you don't have 30 minutes to an hour to go dedicate to bettering yourself, or to like making yourself healthy and keeping your one and only body.
So regardless, we should just use it less.
Yeah. Like in a good shape.
And you have to self-parent yourself here. Like you really need to self-parent. And our parents didn't teach us how to do this because it wasn't a part of their lives. So
they had no
this generation, for that. No, we have to set up the boundaries and the understanding of what it is to self-regulate online from online emotions and lives, and detach and ground yourself, right? So put limits on your phone, make a group friends, and be accountable.
Have
and
computer
honest.
Time like I used to have as a
time.
kid.
Yes, exactly.
Back in the day.
Gaming time.
Yeah.
Your to-do list.
30 minutes after dinner.
Yeah, that's all you get. Yeah. But it is, you have to do that, you guys. Like we all think it's funny until we all started recording it to ourselves.
Shuts off at 9. Like I can't access anything at 9 o'clock after 9 o'clock.
Me neither. I'm done. Usually around 8 o'clock, I'm in bed, my alarm's on, and I'm not touching it. And in the morning now, it's like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do my list of gratitude.
I'm going to
I think I'm going to put my phone charging at night, either in my bathroom or my kitchen. So it's not even there for when I wake up. So you wake up.
I know. I need another alarm.
The first thing is grab
I bought an alarm
phone.
Clock. I'm setting it up right after this.
I need it because I think so. I think that's
the way. But
I think,
it's going to be obnoxious to wake me up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have to, right? You have to set yourself up. And like a lot of people I know are like, well, I have my life online. Yeah, okay. As much as I hate Meta, go find the Business Suite app because you can do all of your posting. I mean, it's not the best. You do have to go to the app to like tag people and do the covers, but it's a start. You could do 50% of it in there. It's 50% that you're not on there,
if
and
you
you're
still
more
need
likely
to share
to be focused.
And get out there, then it's better than having the feed in your face, right? Like,
oh, someone messages me. Oh, a notification. Oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? Oh, someone sent me this video.
I have to put my phone down, or like playing a podcast or something, so like I don't see any notifications. Or
Yep. Same. I have no notifications on my phone.
I've actually removed a lot of notifications off my phone too.
Me too.
So I don't even
just
get
text
them.
me.
Yeah.
Just texting, and that's it. And usually it's just like the thing, not even a noise. And most things, like on my social media, there's no notifications at all.
Yeah.
Just text message, because I'll get trapped. And guys, you have to self-regulate, because there are side effects to these online. We didn't even get to the big AI shit that's coming. We'll save that for season 5. We just scraped the surface as usual, but this is an amazing talk, guys. Thank you so much. I feel like it's
touched a lot of things.
I'll say it's always a good time.
It's always a good balance. It's always being like, hey, we understand that we need to have this. We all do. We all work for it. We connect to it. It's amazing.
The good and the bad.
Check yourself.
Exactly.
before you wreck yourself, and make sure that you're not, when you're getting super emotional. That was like me when that chick commented on the weed industry. I was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Why am I getting so upset? And I was like, that's because you've been spending too much time on here. Time to and I literally deleted Instagram for the week. And I was like, I'm done for the week. And I would go like through Safari, like once or twice a day, check it, done. That's why I got down to like 125 a week for screen time. Cause I was like, I'm done. But you have to be honest with yourselves, guys. You have to be real, babe. How much are you fucking wasting your time? And I'm not saying go to our Instagram and like all of our shit. I'm not saying don't do that. Go like our stories, go chat us, like us on Rumble, subscribe to us on YouTube, all that fun stuff. We have good shit
that
coming
positive piece you want to keep, right?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
We're trying to lend ourselves to awareness, learning, and positivity, and not garbage, right?
Yes. And being honest with you guys and being like, we have these problems too. It's not like we're preaching these things and being like, oh, but we don't do that.
My usage is so bad this week.
Mine was better than it has been and under what I want, but 15 minutes more than last time. So that bothers my brain. I'm like, but I have to thank you guys, because I do think about that. I go and look at where I'm at. And if that means that I have to have an X on my fucking chart for you guys,
no X's.
Not that you guys have shamed me or anything, but I just know that I didn't complete my own goal. And do I have a good enough excuse for that X, or am I going to look at it and go, no, you didn't. You just wasted
the extra eyes on you.
So guys, whatever you have to do it.
The I,
the one. Does this mean that we're just kidding? Kidding. We're not a part of that. Actually, one quick thing I wanted to tell you guys, which is funny, because you guys know Tom McDonald and Nova Rockefeller, the Hangover Gang, right? So they did this little video series. I thought it was so cute. They were answering questions about themselves that had been asked in Google. And it was like, is Nova Rockefeller a Rockefeller? And she was like, okay, you guys, I am not a part of the Illuminati. I am not a part of the Rockefeller family.
Yes.
She was like, I was very broke. Like I was disgustingly broke. And I thought it was funny that I'd call myself a Rockefeller because I was so far from it. And my first album was called Insufficient Funds by Nova Rockefeller. And that's so everyone just thinks that I'm a part of the Illuminati, but I'm not. And I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. I don't know if you guys go watch that. Both of them answered. It was like, Tom's was really funny too. And they're actually from Edmonton, Alberta. That's where they're actually from. That's where they started. So cool. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool seeing Canadians speak so much truth, doing it independently. So if you guys don't know the Hangover Gang, little random shout out as if they need it. His ghost just hit #1 on the Billboard. But for all the rest of Canadians that didn't know, Tom McDonald, the Hangover Gang, they are Canadian. They do everything themselves. They are amazing inspiration for independent artists across the board. They honestly inspire me so much. So yeah, that is the one thing I do love about social media, is the positive influence that we can find out there. Find them, hold on to them, support them, just like us. And you just hold everybody else accountable, including yourself.
Yeah.
But I think that's
Most
it, guys.
importantly, yourself.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. Awesome episode. We've got one more coming for you guys this week, and then we were taking a little break until season 5, and we've got a lot of fun stuff coming for season 5. We're coming in so hot. I cannot wait. And then it leads us right into summer, which is fucking perfect. So follow us on all social media. Like this video if you haven't already, and make sure if you have time to give your babes a review. That helps us on this stupid algorithm that seems to not love everything we talk about. Fucking shadow band out the tabernacle and butthole. But until next time, guys, bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys for stopping by the show today. We appreciate you so much. If you like this episode and you want to see more, make sure to show us some love on our Instagram page, the Be Real Babe Podcast. You can follow us on YouTube. Make sure you're turning on those notifications for Apple and Spotify so you get notified as soon as an episode drops. Or you can become a member of our Patreon page with extra content and early access. But make sure to stay tuned for more realness coming to you next week, babes.